the questionnaire we have inside there are a lot of interesting responses. So because of the training, we'll talk about that. These are the two complications of malaria, the symptoms of severe malaria, and describe what to do when you identify a case of severe malaria. Everything we teach here, treatment is not the objective for you, but you'll be able to identify severe malaria and you tell them what to do. So the global burden of malaria, how many people globally are said to have malaria every year? The number of persons, which I remember. Anyone? Right. 290 million. Nepal clap. May we give a better clap. Nepal clap. Alright. So they got it. 219, not 419. 219 million in the whole world are estimated to have a bit of malaria every year. That's nothing. That 219 has nothing. So it's something very serious. So what we go out of that one, I don't have an idea of the burden by the Africa, the percentage or the proportion of that number that by Sub-Saharan Africa. Yeah, just 80%. Very good. Which lab do you use? Mosquito? Okay. Mosquito lab. Okay. The cat mosquito in a male mosquito, not the one that walks with malaria. Not the one that walks with malaria. Alright, so 80% of those cases are in Sub-Saharan Africa. And what about the death? How many people around the world are estimated to die annually from malaria-related causes? How many people do you remember? Guys are doing so well. It shows that a lot of people live in very high altitude parts of the country. That mosquito is not strong enough to fly up to that level. About 97% of Nigerians are vulnerable. For children under 5 years and pregnant women as well. I had a patient, a child, who came with pictures of severe malaria. But of course, we didn't know who the just get. The child was having convulsion. He was brought in coma. So when he was resuscitated, was treated, finally but we realized the child couldn't see. He went blind from malaria. You know, I've ever imagined that. Do anyone here ever imagine that? Malaria, you have an experience. Okay, I will explain more down when we get to severe malaria, but just trying to give you a full picture. So Nigeria accounts for like 25% at least, 25% of the burden of malaria in Africa. Of course, it's understandable our population is quite high. And every year, malaria costs Nigeria 450 billion naira, the minimum. In fact, the last estimate is about 480 billion. Okay. Imagine this, how many kilometers of road that money or how many people that money to live out of poverty invested. So, just try to maybe, it's not just about the life. We also have children who might miss classes in school as a result of malaria. How many of us that have taught in this country from malaria? Anyone? We have to teach classes, and that way we're primary, university, or something. My question is, I asked how many people here have this class as a result of malaria. I'll put it there. So when you miss classes as a result of malaria, what's the likely outcome?
There is light.
So what's the likely outcome if you miss classes? See what? Okay, the person who performs for you is school. And if it's a child, instead of them trying to know what's wrong with the child, this one knows something. And then they carry out the class. Okay? So when you think about it, you know that it affects the so-called children. Even those who survive, they might miss classes. Some may have severe one and survive it, but have a lifelong complication which will affect their growth. A blind person will not be able to lead or achieve one's full potential. Is that correct? And so they ask questions when they do other things and they see them. You all answer questions. So, okay, they are working on it. So that's about that. That's what malaria can cause. And for pregnant women, I mentioned this briefly the other day. Can anyone remember what malaria caused to a pregnant woman? The dangers of malaria in pregnancy. You have cancer. I'm impressed. Estilo. Please bring out your pet name. And then I chill. So bring out your own man. So I will just call out. If I don't say I will call your number. Okay. So for a pregnant woman, what's the malaria? What are the dangers?
If the malaria affects the baby, you can cause jaundice.
Are you listening? Are you hearing her? Please listen.
Malaria, that is if a pregnant woman is having malaria and the malaria is not being treated, it will affect the fetus, and at the end the baby will be born with jaundice, and sometimes it will be severe and kill the baby. So it's good for the pregnant woman to treat malaria so as to avoid jaundice.
Okay. She explained that it's going to affect the unborn child. Yes. You linked it to jaundice for the child. Not quite for an unborn baby. Okay. But you are correct that it's going to affect the unborn child. But for the jaundice, they don't link that to malaria. But for a child, a small baby who is already outside, yes, malaria can lead to jaundice. So, but that's a good at least you know that it's going to affect the unborn child. There are two people at risk here. The woman is at risk. The baby is at risk. Okay? So, you have something to add to that. What you say? Tracy, how does that affect the pregnant woman? Very good. What lab? NEPA lab. Okay, so anemia in pregnancy is a very serious thing. Okay? Normally, the normal body physiology is in a way that when the woman is pregnant, there are certain changes that happen in the components of the blood. Okay? So, ordinarily, you might not have as much blood cells 1819. Cells, correct. So what is the anemia? Which class are you? Placebo. Melon. No. Yeah. Okay. Give a bell mosquito slap. Okay, say that when blood flows to you. You understand? And in this case, I'm talking about blood cells. You know, blood gets two major components. You get the cells, you get waiting else. The plasma. So the plasma don't have mortality rate. You know what it means? Okay, who knows? Okay, neonates. Who is a neonate? Pardon? Just raise your hand. Okay. Just 28 days, right? You have a health background. Which one? You be lucky. Huh? You are physiotherapist. Okay. Correct. Which lab for physiotherapy?
Power
I'm a hospital that will give everybody.
Power
Power holding. Alright, power holding lab for power holding. Okay, who will participate that? Ahmed, right? Okay, Ahmed, participate power holding class. Okay. Power holding.
Don't join.
Alright, challenge our CV. Okay, so 0 to 28 days is neonates. And it's a very critical period in the life of the baby. In fact, most of the people who die, most of the children who die in the first minute of life, or within the first day of life, within the first week of life, and within the first month of life. These are very critical periods. A whole lot of things can happen. Okay? So during the neonatal period is a time that certain things that happen in the mother's womb when the baby comes out can cause a problem. Plus some other things in the environment which can also affect the baby. So we have also one of the highest, but malaria is not a major cause of morbidity or mortality in neonates. Okay? So, but in people, infants, that's 1 year or under 5, is a major cause of mortality. And in Nigeria, it's responsible for 1 out of 5 of those deaths. That's like 20%. I wasn't taking this thing serious until when in med school, I was in pediatrics posting. So we are the pediatrics emergency. Most of the emergencies are from malaria-related causes. And what happens? The person starts with fever. What do we do? When the child starts having fever, what do we normally do? Or what do our parents normally do? They will give paracetamol, right? Yes, it's not medication. Some will give herbal concussion. So, or the baby's grandmother or whoever will say, give her this. That was the one I gave you when I bought you. It works. That was what I gave you. So, they will give that. If it doesn't work, they will try something else. If it doesn't work, they will go to chemist, buy 1 or 2 things. Well, what is just treating the symptom, but it's not treating the disease. Is that right? So it's just treating the symptom, but it's not treating the disease. So if it's malaria and you give paracetamol, the fever will come down. They say, if you don't get better, they will give you blood. They will give you blood. Alright, so the temperature comes down, but the parasites are still multiplying. Okay? So when they start a paracetamol, or even if they don't stop it, it will get to the level that they charge. There is a difference between parasite and vector. Okay? What's in the vector? Then, what has been done has been, what is vector? Okay. Okay, female are not mosquito. Okay. Alright, yeah, you're right. So, but I just want us to understand what the term vector means. Don't do talk. I hope you don't get never talk. Okay, so bronze. No, now vector with the talk. I mean, you just like your mind say, no one goes. Okay. That's all. Okay, so what's the vector? Yes, if you are confidently stand up, tell us what it is. Statia, can you try? Okay, yeah, the carrier. So it's, it could be an insect, it could be anything, it could be rats, but it's just an agent that carries a disease organism. Okay, so that's a vector. Some might be carrying bacteria, some might be carrying something else. So in the case of malaria, so vector is not only as it relates to malaria, it relates even Lassa fever. There's a species of rats that carries that. So anything that carries the agent that causes that, when it gets into the system, causes the disease. So the vector is what? Female Anopheles mosquito. Alright, then the parasite. The parasite is now the organism itself that the vector deposits in the body and causes the trouble. So we mentioned Plasmodium falciparum, right? Yes, Plasmodium malariae. What else? Plasmodium ovale, right? What else? Plasmodium vivax. So now what are they using for this malaria? Which class for ourselves?
Yeah, that's right.
So these are the chief small but mighty with the concept. So there are things that what I call the different species. So but the one that I indicated malaria is called that we mentioned. So but the one with the wahala part for them are the falciparum. So that's why you tend to hear about it here. Malaria can also cause malaria, but it's more prominent in causing kidney disease. There are two types of kidney disease, Plasmodium malariae and cause. Okay, who told you about nephrotic syndrome? Don't bother. So nephrotic syndrome and the other one is glomerular nephritis, but just know that Plasmodium malariae can cause kidney disease. It's usually a chronic thing that after a long time, when someone is pregnant after a very long time, it can lead to that. Then, what other disease that this mosquito carries? There is no malaria. What else? There are two other diseases, infectious diseases that can cause.
Fever blindness.
Yellow fever. Yellow fever. You know that before? Do we know that before? Okay. The Ovalia and Vivax, there's yellow fever and dengue fever are other conditions that we have Plasmodium. Now you have mosquito, not Plasmodium, like Aedes aegypti and Aedes africanus. Okay, those are the species that cause this. Aedes, Aedes, But let's concentrate on malaria. Okay, no life. So the life cycle of malaria parasite. So let's quickly discuss that. Mosquito carries the plasmodium. But where does it pick it from? We are the host. Mosquito is the vector. They pick up from our body. You know it's a cycle. So let's just start from the point where the mosquito come. That's how they sleep. Even when you are awake, you know the mosquito, they don't fear. They are awake, they will come. So, release is tuberculosis. Gets into the body. Do it in drink blood. So when you take this stuff, what does it pick? It picks the garments. Because when the plasmodium falciparum gets into the body, it undergoes certain changes. So it picks the male and female garments of this organism. When it picks it, it gets into the system, gets into the salivary gland. They will mate inside the mosquito. The male and female will join. Okay. Come from both sides. From there, you will swallow up. You enter in the this is inside the mosquito. So, undergo certain changes, the thing will now enter the bloodstream of the mosquito. Inside the that's how you get blood, or whatever thing you get. You enter the food, then come back to the blood. So at that point, you come back to the saliva, when mosquito bites and takes blood, it also releases of the saliva into our body. So as the thing carries plasmodium falciparum, it gets into the blood. Within 1 to 3 hours, the blood don't move and it will enter the liver. So when it enters the liver, it enters inside the liver and also undergoes some changes. Okay. Yeah. So this image will help us to understand